The recording is on. So, okay, guys, welcome everyone. In today's bonus live session, we will do a full market breakdown analysis from the daily time frame or the weekly time frame. So, for the full higher time frame to the lowest time frame. So, I believe it will be helpful for you for the upcoming weeks to know what price is actually doing, because price action could be confusing in this region. And we were expecting longs from these regions, and actually we got caught in the trades and stop losses several times with these long attempts. So I just do a full breakdown, but before we start this session, I would like to ask you something and just circle the right answer, the yes or no. Guys, I saw that most of you are reacting on the case studies instead of the video recaps. So basically, the case studies are more helpful than the video recaps. I'm just asking you because I will create more case studies then, and I will create less video recaps. So the question is, okay, sorry, wrong question. Just delete your stuff, please. The first one is the case study. The second one is a recap. So just please circle the most useful. Okay, so the recaps. Okay, thank you for the feedbacks. I had to ask this because I saw that lots of you guys are reacting on the case studies and not on the video recaps. And that's why I always ask you to react on this stuff, because this is a feedback for me. This is a feedback for me, and I will be able to make more of those contents that you react on. So if there's more reaction on the case studies and less on the recap videos, I will create more recaps. case studies, you know. So yeah, that's why I always ask to react on this stuff. For example, the markups too, for example, on the recap videos, the case studies, etc., because that's good feedback for me. But yeah, I will keep creating all of the recap videos and case studies too, alongside each other's. And I will remove your drawings, then start the session. Okay, so once again, thank you for the feedback. Let's just begin the session, guys. Okay, as I said, let's just begin on the weekly chart, because we have to see the overall higher time frame. Okay, if I zoom out, what can we see at this region? Okay, that's a bit too far. If I zoom out like this, what can we see? We can see that price is in a clear bearish trend, right? Creating a high point, creating a low point, creating another high point, creating another low point, or it wasn't even a break of structure to the downside. So we can consider this as a low point actually, and we can consider this as a liquidity too. Price has created a pullback right here. After this, created a low again, and this was a weak high because it couldn't break below the last low point. As you can see, this was a weak low again because this low couldn't break over the last weak high point, and seems like this high point will be weak again because it's struggling to break below the last low point again right here at this region. Price is at this current price action region here that I just circled. So knowing the fact that the weekly chart is bearish, but price is ranging between a high point and a low point, we can't really do much about this fact, right? Because this is just a huge time frame, and each of these candles are 1 week movement. So we can't really do much about this chart information. But overall, we knew that the trend, the overall direction is still bearish on the higher time frames too, right? On the weekly chart, it's creating a series of lower lows and lower highs. And right now, price is on a decisional point, bias decisional point on the higher time frame. Because if price can break below this low point, if price can break below this weak low point, and even this low point, the bearish order flow will be continued to the downside, and we will see deeper price action areas. So basically, let me just switch to the daily chart, and you will see it better that this low point right here is a bias decider low point for us, because as you can see, here was a clear extreme demand zone that has created the overall bullish order flow to the upside, as you can see, or even this one at the downside. Let me just mark that zone out too. I believe this will be a clear 4-hour zone too. So we had these two demand zones that was the the origin of the bullish order flow to the upside. As you can see, price is reacting on the upper area, the decisional one, few weeks ago, right here at this step, and change character on the 4-hour chart, as we talked about this several times. After this, price almost tapped the demand zone, supply zone up here, and reverse price to the downside immediately. And seems like the bearish order flow is being continued to the downside, as you can see. So what can we expect from the higher time frame actually? we can expect a reaction on the realist origin, the realist extreme zone right here at this region. We can expect the break of this zone actually. And after this zone is being tapped, that will be a real bias decider zone for the upcoming weeks and the upcoming months. Because if price can break below this bias decider demand zone down here, and if it's being tapped and price can break below this zone, the overall bearish order flow will be continued, I believe, and we will see much, much deeper prices. We will see a break of this overall low point right here, because price has filled up the inefficiency, 50% of the inefficiency. On the weekly chart, this was the inefficient movement. And with this pullback to the upside, price has filled up the 50% of the inefficiency, as you can see, and tapped into some sort of decisional supply zone at this region. And after this, price couldn't break below the low point, but couldn't break above the high point. After the failed attempt of breaking above the high point, price has created a downside movement here, as you can see, and we are currently right here. So that's why I said if price can break below this demand zone, this bias decider demand zone right here at this region, the overall order flow, bearish order flow, will be continued to the downside, because that will be proven that this high will be strong. Actually, in theory, if price can break below this low point, then this high will be strong. But yeah, I will consider this break of this demand zone as a strong high break. I mean, strong high creation. Sorry, guys, let me just AFK for a minute. Okay, I'm here, sorry. So once again, it will be much, much cleaner on the 4-hour chart, and you will see much, much cleaner results on the 4-hour chart and the direction too. But as you can see on the daily chart, price hasn't even changed character after a tap of this demand zone. As you can see, there wasn't even a change of character here to the upside. And basically price has created just a simple pullback on the daily chart of the daily leg, right? As you can see, downside movement, demand reaction. This demand reaction couldn't give enough power, couldn't fuel the movements enough to break above the last high point, break above the last supply zone right here at this region. And instead of breaking above this last supply zone, without even tapping this supply zone, prices reversed immediately downside and created a sub change of character right here at this region, as you can see. So what can we expect from this price action region? I believe the bearish order flow will be continued down to this extreme region for sure, because price couldn't break above this supply zone, couldn't even touch this supply zone, and without even touching this supply zone, it just reversed immediately and sub change character on several places, as you can see. And knowing the fact that this leg, this upside movement, is just a small pullback of the whole daily leg, and this small pullback has actually tapped the daily supply zone. As you can see, we can really consider this zone as a supply zone or this zone as a supply zone, and we can say that price has swept liquidity from over the supply zone, because as you can see, this supply zone was part of the liquidity because there was first, second, third, fourth up, and this movement has swept the liquidity from above this region and reversed immediately to the downside. So we could say that the supply has been mitigated, a daily supply has been mitigated, and the order flow has been reversed to the downside. I was desperately trying to catch long opportunities, and I was trying to search for long opportunities on this demand zone, and I was trying to take another good long opportunity up to this supply zone. But I have to admit that price has reversed, and maybe we won't see the tap of this supply zone up here. Maybe we will see a break of this demand zone instead of seeing the tap of this upper supply zone right here. So right now, price is at the bias decider region, even on the daily chart and even on the 4-hour chart, because so let me just read the chat. I don't have a sound. I'm going to leave the Zoom and join again. Heavy rain and fuck the thunderstorm. Okay. So switching to the 4-hour chart. As I said, sorry, switch back to the daily chart. As I said, price is at the bias decider region right here and right here on the daily chart. What are you doing, Hussein? Please stop it. Just don't draw on my screen, please, guys. So price is at the bias decider region on the daily chart too, and on the 4-hour chart too. As you can see, after a demand indication, daily demand indication right here, price has created 15-minute extreme zone somewhere at this region. And from this 15-minute extreme zone, price has created this upside movement, this upside long order flow, right? And as you can see, even though there's no clear 4-hour demand zone right here at this region, there could be a clear 15-minute zone, and price will react on that zone soon. As you can see, price is almost in that 15-minute demand zone region right here, which was the extreme of the whole order flow to the upside. So what can we expect from this price action region on the 4-hour chart or on the 15-minute chart? I will explain the 15-minute perspective on the 15-minute chart, but let's see the 4-hour first. So if price taps this extreme zone down here and creates a break of this zone on the 4-hour chart and creates a break of this zone, of this daily demand zone on the 4-hour chart also, this downer area, this downer demand area will be tapped for sure. Okay, but let's see what happens if price reverses. Let me just mark some random demand zone right here. So what happens if price reverses on this demand zone, on this extreme demand zone lag? So it creates a change of character here on the 15-minute chart, because this is a 4-hour zone / 15-minute zone. A 15-minute change of character will be perfectly enough right here. So if price creates a 15-minute change of character at this region, what will happen? What do you think? What do you think? What will happen? Just roll my screen, please. What's your perspective? What will happen if price reacts on this? Yes, Nikita. Thank you, Nikita. Adi, that could be good, but that's too extreme. If price comes up to this extreme zone right here, the upper supply will be mitigated, or even the break of this supply will happen. So that will be a really, really extreme scenario. I believe price won't come up to mitigate some extreme areas right at this region. It will react on a valuable decisional zone, which is right here. Yes, Hussein, thank you. This is a really, really valuable 4-hour zone. And thank you, Ramona. Perfect. Exactly, there's liquidity. As you can see, below this supply zone, below this 4-hour decisional supply zone, which was the cause of the overall demand flips. As you can see, here was a less recent strong low point, which has caused the less recent break of structure here to the upside. Price is reacting on this strong low point, as you can see with this candle, reaction and flip. From this candle, price has flipped that zone. And after this, price has created really, really nice and clear liquidity for this zone, as you can see. So I believe if price reacts on this zone down here, sorry, let me just put my dollar signs. So if price reacts on this extreme origin of the movement zone and creates a change of character on the 15-minute chart right here at this region, this supply zone will be tapped. And why it will be tapped? Why can we expect a tap of this supply zone after the reaction on a change of character on this zone? I'm asking you, why can we expect a reaction and tap of this supply? Anyone? Yeah, flip could be good. Strong supply could be good, but I'm looking for another answer. Not really. Basically, liquidity is the closest answer. The reason why price will react on this supply zone and tap this supply zone after a reaction and change of character on this zone is because if price can break below this low point, it has to collect more liquidity. It has to collect more orders. It has to tap a valuable supply zone, a valuable order block, where it can collect more orders from. And it can collect more orders in a form of a liquidity and in form of a order block right here, and in a form of a inefficiency right here. So if price can break below this demand zone down here and creates a change of character, this zone, the supply zone, will be tapped for sure. And I believe this supply zone will be able to give enough fuel to price to actually reverse from this region and create a new low. Make sense? Without orders, this zone can be broken. Without orders, it can be broken. If price can collect enough orders, for example, from this decisional zone or this decisional zone, it will be able to break below this zone. It will be able to break below this demand zone. But if price can break below this demand zone, change of character will happen here, and the tap of this supply will happen here. A change of character will happen here, and the continuation will happen. These are my expectations. I've been caught up on the wrong side of the market for so long in the past few days from this price action region. I was caught up in the wrong side of the market. I was looking for long opportunities. Regardless, I was looking for longs because this supply zone has not been tapped yet, as you can see. And I was looking for a tap of this supply zone. I was so sure about the longs. I was so sure about the fractal conformation at this region. But as you can see, everyone can be wrong. I could be wrong about the analysis too. Of course, I could be wrong. And I've been wrong, but I have to change my perspective. I had to admit that my perspective was wrong, and I have to adapt quickly. And I have to adapt on what price is actually giving me. And I have to adapt, as I said once again, on what price is actually giving me and not what I want to see. because if I trade what I want to see, those trades will hit stop loss, right? But if I trade what market is actually giving me, what actually showing me, those will be the good trades. And that's why you have to adapt quickly, because the market directions, the market perspective has been changed a few days ago, and I haven't even noticed this. So yeah, I believe if I switch to the 15-minute chart, it will be much cleaner to analyze. Let me just find a good reversal point right here, because clearly price has reversed right here at this region, as you can see. There is another good supply that made the flip. Let me just see. What do you mean? Which supply do you mean? Nikita? That wasn't a flip, that was a simple change of character. And basically this was just a decision zone, and this is the extreme of the movement. So I will consider this as the real supply zone right here and not this one up here. But of course, there's inefficiency, there's a clear break of structure right here, there's a clear change of character right here. So this is pretty valid too, but this one is more valid. If price can't reverse on this zone and breaks about this zone, this supply zone won't be able to reverse price. So if this zone breaks, this decision zone breaks, price will tap this supply zone up here or even change the direction again to bullish. So two scenarios right here: price reverses on this supply zone or it changes direction to bullish again. So this supply zone won't be able to help us. Yeah, that's a supply zone again, but the same rule goes again for like this one. These are the same. Of course, these are supply zones. These are supply zones, but if price can break above this zone down here, the overall direction will be changed again. And I believe these supply zones won't be able to hold price and won't be able to reverse them, because these aren't as much valuable as this one down here. Okay, so back to the 15-minute chart. So as you can see, price is clearly reversed right here and created an upside change of character on the 15-minute chart on several places. Let's see the reversal point, reversal demand zone that has caused the reversal. And this was the low point of the demand. I'm in the reversal. And as you can see, price hasn't mitigated anything right here at this region. So basically it was this reversal right here was a reversal in the middle of nowhere. And as you can see, the low point of this movement lines up perfectly with the liquidity. So we can mark up a perfect liquidity line right here, which is one more confluence for the upcoming shorts, which is one more confluence that this demand zone, this extreme demand zone down here, which is a daily demand zone. And yeah, this will be tabbed. This is one more confluence that this will be tabbed. And price will create another bearish impulse movement to the downside, and it will follow the overall bearish order flow to some deeper demand areas. So as you can see, here's a clear liquidity line. Basically, price is reversing in the middle of nowhere. This was a middle of nowhere reversal, so there wasn't even a demand tap. So what can we expect from this price action region? What can we expect if price reverses in the middle of nowhere without even tapping into a higher time frame demand such supply zone? I'm asking you, what can we expect?
It will be swept.
That will be swept, exactly. That will be taken out. Okay, so let's just make an analysis on the 15-minute chart. As you can see, here was the last recent 15-minute demand zone that price has flipped recently, and the flip has been happened from this region right here. And this region has been mitigated already, but also it has created a liquidity line right here, this region, as you can see. So what else can we see? Okay, let me just go back to this region. So just about few facts about the perspective. So our perspective was long at this region, right? Yesterday or the day before yesterday, we were expecting long opportunities, and we were expecting a reaction on this demand zone, and we were expecting a reaction on this demand zone and the continuation of the bullish order flow, right? So let's just notice the pattern. As you can see, price is coming in a downside trend, created a change of character on several places. I even sent you in the markups, created a change of character on several places, multiple change of characters everywhere. After this, it created liquidity for this zone that was leading to a change of character down here, as you can see. Price has tapped this zone, created a news movement right here at this region, news movement, and price couldn't break above the last recent high point at this region. What happened after this? Prices created a break of structure right here to the downside, as you can see, with body closure, and its body broke below this demand zone. Okay, there was another demand tap, and this was a liquidity sweep of this liquidity. As you can see, this was a clear liquidity, this was a clear liquidity sweeping candle, and prices reversed after the liquidity sweeping movement. This was yesterday. This happened yesterday. I sent you that I'm expecting a reaction on this demand zone again, and I'll be expecting a continuation and fractal confirmation of the bullish order flow. This has never happened again. As you can see, the same pattern goes on because price exchange character after this liquidity sweeping movement and after this downtrend to the upside several places again, on this place, on this place, on this place, on this place, it has changed character with a huge inefficient movement to the upside, right? So we were caught up in the wrong side of the market again because we were expecting a reaction on this demand zone. We were expecting a continuation on this demand zone, but prices actually broke below this demand zone once again, right? Now it is the same pattern. As you can see, downtrend is being continued. Price reversed in the middle of nowhere again. Price has created a change of character on several places again. First change of character, second, third, fourth change of character. The same pattern, right? The exact same pattern. First, second, fourth. First, second, third, fourth change of character. First, second, third, fourth change of character. And again, the first, second change, first, second, third, fourth change of character right here at this region. So the same pattern goes on and again. So this demand zone down here has changed character, right? This demand zone was the cause of the change of character. Lots of people, lots of traders will be caught up in a bad position right here at this region because they will be expecting a reaction on this demand zone. They will be expecting a reverse on this demand zone, and they will aim for long opportunities. But we know this is a pattern. We know what price is actually doing. We know what the intentions of price. We know that price is heading down to this deeper demand area. And this random change of character in the middle of nowhere won't be able to reverse price to mitigate the higher time frame supply area right here. So we know that we won't be able to open a position right here at this demand zone. Or even if we can, that will be risky. And you have to notice that that will be a counter trend trade. So what can we do in this scenario? We can just simply wait for a tap of this zone. We can just simply wait for a tap of this zone. And after the tap of this zone happens, we will be able to wait for a break of this zone because the break of these kind of demand zones are happening over and over again, as you can see here, 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 here. The break of these demand zones are happening over and over again. Of course, there are reactions. Of course, there are reactions, as you can see. Reaction has started from this demand zone. Okay. Reaction has started from this demand zone. Okay. Reaction has not started from this demand zone. It just slightly broke below, as you can see. But we can actually expect a reaction on this demand zone. And even though price can create a good entry opportunity right here, that will be a counter trend trade, and that will be a low probability setup for us. Why is it counter trend trade? I just explained it the whole time, basically, chilling markets. In the past 20 minutes, I'm just explaining why is it counter trend trade. So yeah. 50 minutes is bullish. 50 minutes has changed character. That's what I was explaining the whole fucking time. Sorry for my swearing. That's what I was explaining. 50 minutes is bullish. It has changed character on several places. But as I said, just notice the pattern. It has changed character here. It has changed character here. It has changed character here. The short trend is being continued over and over and over again. And that's what I was explaining the whole time, that we were caught up in the wrong side of the market. Demand reaction, break, demand reaction, break, demand reaction, break, demand reaction, break. We can expect a tap of this downside demand area right here. The whole chart is bearish. We were caught up in the wrong side of the market the whole time. Okay, so back to the 15-minute chart, back to here at this price action region. So what can we expect from here at this demand zone? What can we expect from price? There's liquidity, as you can see, there's a clear liquidity built up for this zone. Okay, this is one more confluence for the other side to be bought, right? Lots of traders will be buy at this region. Lots of traders will open a buy position right here at this demand zone. They will open a 50% entry opportunity or they'll wait for a change of character and they will be swept out. And we know that this will be liquidity for the deeper area. And this is a clear liquidity because this is a clear liquidity line also. Here's a clear liquidity line. So we don't want to be caught up in the wrong side of the market again, right? We want to trade the controlling side of the market. And we have to wait for a good opportunity. It's Friday, so I believe there won't be any high impact news movement today. So the market will be very, very slow. But you have to react. Okay, let's see what can happen between the tap of this zone and the reaction on this zone and between this price action region. Actually, price can change character here. As you can see, here's the last recent demand zone that has caused the last recent break of structure here to the upside and the higher time frame change of character right here. So we can expect the break of this zone. And if the break of this zone happens, and let's say price creates a clear break, clear body break of this zone and creates another liquidity line, so it creates a double bottoms right here at this region, we can expect a pullback. We can expect a pullback to some higher supply areas right here. We can expect a reversal on this supply zone, and we can ride the short expectation order flow down to this demand zone. And this trade, the short opportunity right here, after the reinspection of this supply zone up here, this short opportunity, let me just draw it real quick, sorry. So this short opportunity right here will be a main trend movement because price has changed character on the 15-minute chart. Price has changed character on the 1-minute chart after this movement has happened. And this movement will be a real main trend movement. And this will be the best probability setup for us in this session. But if this possibility doesn't happen, and price just simply goes down to this demand zone without even reversal right here and even tap of this supply zone, we can simply wait for a reaction on this demand zone. And I believe the reaction will be the break of this zone. So the break of this zone will happen sooner or later. It will happen for sure because there's liquidity, there's a deeper demand area, and price is extremely bearish, right? And we don't want to be caught up in the wrong side of the market again. So, sorry guys, just a minute. Sorry, I'm back. But there is a double tap. Yeah, there's a double tap. And a possibility of the sweep can happen. That could be a possible sweep. And yeah, there's a supply zone. Supply zone tap can be happen. But if price creates an upside order for right here at this region and creates a tap of this zone, this 15-minute zone, and creates a huge change of character, and the supply zone will be somewhere around here, for example, you'll be able to safely execute an order on this supply zone because you don't have to worry about the double taps right here, because those double taps will be swept after the deeper demand mitigation right here. Because as you can see, lots of liquidity has been left out right here at this region. Price won't just reverse in the middle of nowhere to go up for that liquidity. It has to tap a deeper demand area, and after a deeper demand mitigation, it will go up for that liquidity, and it will liquidate this liquidity, and it will tap this supply zone right here at this region. But it won't reverse in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so, but of course, the possibility of the liquidity sweep right here is still live. It can still happen. You can still expect a sweep of this zone. You just have to react on what price is giving you. Okay, let me just remove these drawings. So let me just create a quick markup right here. Let me just read the chat again. I am liquidity margin by, okay, but there is double tap, got it. Okay. Liquidity, I will mark it as a liquidity. And this supply zone, which I've been married right now, isn't a supply zone yet. It will be a supply zone if price can break below this zone. It will be a supply zone if price can create a change of character here to downside. But until it can't create a change of character, this supply zone will be just an unvaluable supply zone or even liquidity. But if price can create a break of this zone, this will be a valuable supply zone, and you can expect a reaction on this zone. Also, you can expect a reaction on this zone right now too. But answering to a question, Nikita, if price reverses on this 15-minute demand zone down here, so it creates a reversal right here on the 1-minute chart, for example, something like this, there will be a reversal, and this supply zone will be tapped. And for example, price creates a change of character inside of this zone. It will be a change of character. The sweep of this liquidity will happen for sure, because price couldn't break below this demand zone. And it has to collect more orders, because it couldn't break below the demand zone, and it has to collect more orders to actually continue the order flow. And after the order collection, after the liquidity collection right here at this region, after the sweep, it will be powerful enough to actually continue the overall short movements and continue to break below demand zones over and over again. But if price can break below this demand zone first, then I believe the sweep of this liquidity wouldn't be necessary. It can happen, of course it can happen, but it wouldn't be necessary because price was strong enough to break below this demand zone. But if price isn't strong enough to break below this demand zone, the sweep of this liquidity is necessary because price has to collect more orders. Make sense? Is it understandable?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, yes.
So, okay, I will mark this liquidity
Nicht. Jetzt nicht.
supply mark. Sorry, guys, I will just mute everyone because I can hear your background voice. Okay, perfect. So once again, there are two scenarios. Okay, you have to keep this scenario in mind, and you have to act based on these scenarios. You have to trade based on these scenarios. The first scenario, if price breaks below, body breaks below this demand zone. Actually, there are three scenarios, sorry. If price body breaks below this demand zone and creates a pullback, you will be able to create a short opportunity right here, and you'll be able to ride the short expectation order flow to the downside if the body break happens. Second, if the body break happens and price doesn't really come up a pullback right here to this region, and this demand will be tapped, the break of this demand will happen. I'm expecting a break of this demand. But if the break of this demand can happen, and if price can break below this demand zone, then this supply zone tap will happen again. And if this supply zone tap happens, there will be a liquidity sweep, because price, okay, let me just ask you, why will there be a liquidity sweep if price can break below this zone? Why will price sweep this liquidity to the upside if price can break below this zone, this demand zone down here?
It needs more
To gain
fuel
fuel.
for
Exactly.
the cells.
Exactly. The same scenario goes just like for this zone. The same scenario just like for this zone. Because if price can break below this demand zone, this extreme demand zone, and it reverses on this demand zone, the sweep of this liquidity line right here will happen because price has to collect more orders. It has to collect more stop losses, more liquidity in order to continue the overall bullish. Sorry, I can't speak. So to continue the overall bearish order flow. And if the reinspection of this demand zone happens, you'll be able to safely execute a long order, knowing the fact that that is a counter trend trade. As I said at the beginning of this session, you have to know the fact that executing every single long opportunity will be a counter trend opportunity, right? And this demand zone is a low probability setup. This won't be a high probability setup. You can safely execute it if it fits in your criteria. You can go for that trade. You can go for that long opportunity and trade it up to this supply zone. You'll be able to counter trend it up to this supply zone. But you have to just know the fact that this is a counter trend trade, and this is a possibility to reverse in the middle of nowhere and doesn't even tap into this supply zone and middle reverse right here and sweep you out from the trade. There's a possibility for everything. Okay. Okay. So once again, if price can break below this demand zone, the liquidity sweep will happen. If price can break below this demand zone and create, for example, a flip right here, and it creates a flip, the liquidity sweep at this region won't happen because price could break below this zone without collecting any liquidity. There will be a new liquidity collection right here somewhere at this region, a new supply tap that was leading to a break of this demand zone, and the continuation of the overall order flow, bearish order flow, will be continued down to this demand area right here. Okay, so I believe we talked about every single scenario that could happen on the 15-minute chart, and that's actually, as you can see, price has broke below this 15-minute demand zone, and seems like it's creating this second bottom of the liquidity. Here's the second bottom of the liquidity, as you can see. Okay, sorry, I left out the last scenario. As you can see, the second bottom has been created, reversal right here. So if the second bottom is being created right here, price will simply just reverse on this zone, and it doesn't have to sweep the liquidity because the liquidity is right here. This liquidity will be perfectly enough, and price could break below this zone. But we talked about this already. So these are the scenarios for the 15-minute chart. We can expect these scenarios for today. Sorry, guys, just a minute again. I have to sniff out my nose, or I don't even know how to say this. I blow my nose. Yeah, just a minute, guys, sorry. I'm back, guys, sorry. Okay, so we talked about every single scenario on the 15-minute chart that could possibly happen. What's the next step? I'm asking you. What's our next step?
Refinement on the 5 minute.
Exactly. 5-minute refinement of the 50-minute zones. Yeah. Okay, let's start with the upper area right here. As you can see, we can refine these zones, this zone, to 2 separate supply zones. So what can we do in this case if there are 2 separate valuable supply zones inside of the first big one? What can we do in this scenario?
Keep the original supply.
Exactly. Thank you. Just keep the original supply zone the way it is. So this supply will be untouched. We don't care about it. It's a perfectly fine supply zone. It's just a directional supply because we know that if the liquidity sweep happens, this supply zone will be able to reverse price because the next recent supply zone after a liquidity sweep will be able to reverse price. Okay, let's see the second zone right here. We can refine this zone, but I want you to mark the candle, the refinement candle. I want you to mark the candle. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. We can actually refine this zone to 2 separate zones, which could be the wick in this scenario and could be the whole candle. Basically, the whole candle will be the safest because the original inefficiency has started from this candle, as you can see. Bottom of the candle, close of the candle, and upside of this candle, and between these candles, there are inefficiency. Between the bottom of the candle and between the upside of this candle, there's inefficiency. Between this low of the candle and the high of the candle, there's no inefficiency. The real inefficiency has started from this region, as you can see, and the cause of the inefficiency was this supply zone up here. So this will be the right refinement for us. Okay, third zone, as you can see, this is a clear refinement without any doubts. And this zone has been broken on the 15-minute and the 5-minute chart too. So the body broke. Lunchtime candle, we wait for confirmation entry. This was a lunchtime candle. This isn't a lunchtime candle. But of course, we wait for confirmation entry on a 15-minute/5-minute zone every single time. So the break of this zone has happened. So we can actually ignore this zone in the future. This will be just a reminder for us that this zone has been broken and the body break of this zone has been happened. And yeah, this is just a reminder for us. Okay, can we refine this zone? I'm asking you, can we refine this zone? Anyone? Feel free to use our microphones. We can. Actually, we can refine this zone, but this zone will be outside of the zone. Where's the inefficiency? Right here, right?
The one that started inefficiency.
Yeah, actually this started inefficiency. The downer candle started inefficiency. So this could be a right zone because this zone has started inefficiency. As you can see below this candle, there's no inefficiency. Between this high and between this low, there's no inefficiency. Between this and this, there's no inefficiency. The inefficient gap has started from this candle, but the 50% of this candle has been already mitigated. So I believe the mitigation will happen right here at this candle, and the 50% of this candle will be mitigated because the 50% of this candle lines up with the upper area of this candle, the high of this candle. So the 50% mitigation will happen on this zone, I believe. That will be the best area, but I will just keep this zone as our valuable zone because let's stick to our rows because the inefficiency has started from this candle. Okay, so as you can see, price has created a perfect liquidity line right here for this zone. And basically the 5-minute chart is the same as the 15-minute chart. Expect the refinements. Why not the wick which started the order flow? Because there's no inefficiency. I just literally explained it once again. There's no inefficiency. No inefficiency. How do we choose our zones? There's no inefficiency. There's no inefficiency. There's no inefficiency. There's inefficiency. How do we choose our zones? How do we choose the actual best zone? With inefficiency, right? If there's no inefficiency, that won't be a zone. If there's inefficiency, that will be a valuable zone. That's how we choose the zones. Okay, so the 15-minute and the 5-minute is basically the same. As you can see, here was a reversal. Here was a reversal after the break of this zone. Prices reversed right here at this region. And as you can see, this zone was the flip zone on the 5-minute chart. So this small little candle has flipped the overall demand zone right here at this region, flip this demand zone. Okay, what can we expect from here? If price can break above this supply zone and it can create a break of this supply and create another flip zone to the upside, then we can expect a reaction on some sort of demand zone right here. And we can expect the tap of this supply zone up here. And as I said, there won't be a liquidity sweep. Liquidity sweep won't be required because price could break below this zone. So if price can come up to this zone, then a change of character will happen right here. And the continuation of the bearish order flow will happen. And the sweep of the downside liquidity right here at this region will also happen. And the tap of this zone will happen also. Okay, this is the first scenario in the 5-minute chart. But what if price can't break above this supply zone up here and it can create a change of character to the upside? Instead of creating a change of character, it just sweeps the liquidity and taps this demand zone. The previous scenarios will be live that I was just talking about. If price sweeps the liquidity right here at this region and taps this zone, there will be two scenarios. If price can create a break of structure here to the downside and break of this zone, then the overall continuation of the bearish order flow will be continued, and we will see the deeper demand mitigation down here at this region. But if price can break below this zone and creates a change of character instead to the upside, then the continuation to the upper supply zone and the liquidity sweep will happen. Because price has to collect more liquidity, it has to collect more stop losses, it has to collect more orders in order to actually continue the overall bearish order flow and break below this demand zone. So these are the three possible scenarios for the day. The first one is the break of this supply, continuation to the upside, reversal right here, tap of this demand. Second one, liquidity sweep, tap of this demand, break of this demand. Third one, liquidity sweep, tap of this demand, change of character, continuation to the upside. So these are the possible scenarios for this day. Break of structure on the 15-minute. What do you mean, Sardar? What do you mean break of structure on the 15? Okay, I'll just write it down. Okay, guys, let's just check the news. As you can see, there won't be any high impact news today. So yeah, I believe this will be a very, very boring day, but we'll see. Let's switch to the 1-minute chart because that's enough of the 15 and 5-minute chart. We already know the intentions of price. And sorry, one more important thing. This zone, this demand level will be broken for sure. We just have to find a good opportunity and ride the order flow to break this zone. This zone will be broken for sure. Why? Because price is reversed in the middle of nowhere, and it has changed character in the middle of nowhere. So this will be our liquidity. This is just a pullback, and this demand zone will be broken for sure sooner or later. Okay, just remember for this. That don't be caught up in the wrong side of the market. This demand will be broken for sure, and even though there's a liquidity line too. Okay, everything lines up for this deeper demand area. Everything lines up for this to be tapped, and all of the confluences are leading down to this zone. Okay, 1-minute chart. Any backtesting this Sunday? No. But I've already announced it that there won't be. I'm hosting this live session today because there won't be a live session on Sunday. So yeah. In 15 minutes, we didn't get a body close below the current demand. Do we consider it is a change of character? There won't. Oh, actually, there wasn't a body break. Okay. So the first scenario will be live, I believe, but we have to react. Price couldn't body break below this demand zone. So the body break did not happen, as you can see. What did I say? What will happen if price can body break below this demand zone? I'm asking you. What will happen?
It will touch the 50-minute supply and then go lower to break the demand.
Not correct. The liquidity sweep. Yeah. Thank you, Martin. Exactly. The touch of this supply will happen. The liquidity sweep will happen. The touch of the upper supply will happen. And after that, it will be able to break below these demand zones. But actually, if price can body break below this zone right now, then the second scenario will happen. So that's why I always say you have to react. As you can see, we built up several perspectives. We got several plans. We got several perspectives for today. There are 4 different scenarios that could easily happen today, but we have a plan for every single scenario, right? Do you guys understand why is it so important to build a plan for every single scenario? You'll be able to react on every single scenario without a doubt, right? Because you have a plan for every single scenario. So if a movement happens, you already have a plan for that movement. So nothing can surprise you because you built a plan, a scenario for everything, right? So if the sweep happens right here, tap of this demand happens, change of character happens, you'll know that price will tap this supply zone up here and sweep the liquidity. If the body break of this zone happens and the reversal happens, you'll know that price will tap this supply and the reversal will happen right here. And after the break, if price breaks below this demand zone, you'll know that price will continue the overall bearish order flow, and you have a plan for everything. Every single plan scenario you have a plan for, right? That's why you have to build a perspective before every single session. Because if you build a perspective, nothing can surprise you in that session, right? But if something completely different happens that you were expecting, then you have to build a new plan. You have to build a new perspective in session. So in the live session, you have to build a new scenario. You have to build a new plan, new perspective for that surprising movement. And basically that's all. Build a plan, build a scenario, build a perspective, and react on those scenarios, react on those plans. If one of those scenarios happens, react on it. This is how you should trade. This is how Forex is actually working. You don't have to predict shit, right? Why isn't a weak break fine considering a change of character? It could be a change of character, but it could be also a liquidity sweep. That's why we don't know. There's liquidity. This movement could be a liquidity sweep, but this movement built up liquidity also. Yeah, exactly, Nikita, there's liquidity. This is a confusing movement, but you have to react on these. On to the 1 minute chart. Let's turn in the flipping fake zones. As you can see, every single movement, this downside movement is a flipping fake zone. I mean, fake lunchtime zone, sorry. So this is one more confluence for the break of these zones. And this is one more confluence for the upside movement right here. This is one more confluence that the upside movement will actually happen here or after the tap of this zone. Sorry, after the tap of this zone, the upside movement will happen or reversal will happen because these lunchtime areas are being swept sooner or later. And most of the times sooner, right? So yeah. Right now, we built a perspective scenario for every single possible scenario for today. Right now, we have to wait. We are patiently sitting on our hands, right? If one of the scenario happens, we happen to trade. We wait for a good entry criteria and we happen to trade. Everything makes sense, guys? Was it helpful to actually go through the scenarios?
Yes, it was.
Yes, really great.
87 of you guys are actually here on Friday. That's very nice. Have you guys got any questions? You can make a plan every scenario if you order flow plan. But what about if it's difficult? Xider, basically, if you backtest enough, if you train your eyes on charts enough to notice everything on charts, it won't be hard. It won't be difficult. For me, it's not difficult anymore because I train my eyes. My eyes are being trained for this chart. My eyes are being trained for the liquidity. My eyes are being trained for the demand supply zones, for everything. So just stick to the strategy. Just stick with backtesting, stick with the practicing. It's all about muscle memory. It's all about your eyes. Your eyes work based on muscle memory too. If you spend enough time on charting, if you spend enough time on backtesting, you'll train your muscle memory. You'll train your eyes muscle memory, and you'll be able to notice the patterns, the liquidity, the demand zones, etc., sooner. And you'll be better every day, time by time, right? So yeah. Every single scenario, rob the money heist. Yeah, guys, any questions? I'm actually
Marcel.
Yeah, sorry guys,
I don't have a question. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah,
I don't have a question. Just this will be uploaded on Telegram as well, just
yeah.
so I
Of
can
course,
rewatch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I
upload
came
every
late
single
today.
session. It will be uploaded.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
my first live session with you, and it's incredible. Thank you, my man. Appreciate it. Guys, I'm actually thinking about a live trading session right now, but my voice has started to go off, and I can feel that my voice will be completely lost in, for example, an hour, because I've talked for an hour, and I shouldn't be talking for an hour. What I'm really, really thinking about the live trading session, because I'm in a mood, but my voice isn't in a mood. So it's a hard decision. Sorry.
Go on.
Signals in Discord are okay too.
You don't have to talk all the time. You can mute yourself, and when something is upcoming, then you can talk.
But basically, I can do that for the markup updates too. So
Yes, well.
it isn't required to have the live session, right?
Yeah, but it would be great to have one just to see how it works, or how it is. Would be interesting to have a complete live session with you, or maybe with John in the future, That would
Actually,
be
I did host a
amazing.
live trading session back then. Maybe 3 or 4 live sessions I did host. And yeah, the reason I don't like live trading sessions is that I can't really concentrate on my own trading. Basically, during sessions, I'm really, really focused. And let me just stop the recording because we are just chatting right now. So